Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
I've been in the danger zone.
He got a bath.
Minus 5 stars.
Mango.
Huh? Yeah, we got for you.
Jeff Harvey.
How much does a Skyway?
Play.
Play 21.
Fucking.
Well, what is going down, everybody? Welcome back to another brand new edition of Am I Still on the Air? That's right, you know what it is. Am I Still on the Air? It's the spin-off show where we focus and we zone in on one particular topic. And on my latest episode of Am I on the Air, I told you we were going to try to make this one work. And here we are. Tonight's Am I Still on the Air is all about Deadpool. That's right, it is time for the Deadpool 2 spoiler review. So this is where you come to find out everything about this movie. We get to talk about it freely and dive into it, because as you know, on Am I on the Air, we do these spoiler-free reviews. It's very hard sometimes to hold back on, but that's why I love doing these Am I Still in the Airs, and we get to just dive into it, speak freely. So once again, your warning, it is a spoiler review. If you want spoiler-free, go check out the regular Am I on the Air. If you want spoilers, come back to here after you've seen the movie and come enjoy some Deadpool 2 talk with us. So, I am back here tonight with my partner in crime, Mr. Peeps over here, who just joined me a couple weeks ago. We did the Avengers Infinity War spoiler review. That was a ton of fun. Got some really good feedback on it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So I invited him back on here. He's a big Deadpool fan. And, you know, since we don't have a new People's Forum for Deadpool 2, we're doing it here on Am I Still in the Air. So welcome back, Mr. Peeps.
Thanks for having me, my man. And yes, my big comeback was supposed to be for Deadpool 2, but since you said you wanted to chat about it, I was like, all right, I'm gonna chat. I'm gonna do it with my boy Don. All right, I'll let that happen.
There you go. There you go. So we're going to talk about what we loved about the movie, what we maybe didn't like about the movie, you know, those highs and lows, and a little bit of what's to come, because we're kind of got a big question mark kind of at the end of this film, not because of something where they left us off at, but because of a little maybe Disney buyout, and you know, we don't know what's gonna really happen in the future here for Deadpool as he becomes a part of Disney. Disney does not do rated R movies, so we will, you know, think about and talk a little bit about maybe where we go from here moving forward. But tonight's all about Deadpool 2, the number one film worldwide, the first film to dethrone Avengers Infinity War after about 4 weeks at number one. Avengers is closing in on that $2 billion mark, but you know, a little movie here, Deadpool 2, came out, did a pretty nice opening. It made 125 mil here domestically and over 300 million worldwide. On the domestic side, a little bit short from where the first movie landed. The first film did about 132 in its opening weekend, and then this one did 125. But on the flip side, on the worldwide side, this movie making over 300 mil worldwide is more than what the first film did in its opening weekend worldwide. So a little bit of back and forth. I am a little shocked to see that it didn't debut higher than the first film, just because, you know, that 132 for the first movie, man, I mean, that was when I'd say 75% of people didn't even know who the hell Deadpool was, and went out, enjoyed this film, and I thought that it would only ramp up from there and get really way more excitement going. It came off with a bang. I mean, on its Thursday previews, the movie became the biggest Thursday preview night ever for an R-rated film. And then Friday was the biggest single day take for an R-rated film as well, too. So, you know, 2 big days, Thursday and Friday, but then kind of dipped over Saturday and Sunday, which was kind of interesting. Now, I do know, you know, we're at the end of May, there's a lot of people going through graduations and all kinds of stuff, so maybe it just took away a little bit of that box office, but I think word of mouth has been pretty damn strong, and I think people will be going back. I've already seen it twice. I know Peeps hasn't had a chance to see it more than once yet, but I think it's worth the repeat viewings. I had so much fun with this movie. I had a grin on my face, ear to ear, from start to finish. The first time I saw it on that Thursday preview night and got lucked out and was able to do the Deadpool double feature. It was a special one night only thing in IMAX. It was the first movie and the second movie back to back. And that was awesome to attend because it's been a minute since I saw the original film. So having that fresh in my mind going right into number two, I think helped a lot because there was a lot of little jokes and a lot of little nods to the original film that I don't know if I would have caught them all if I hadn't just seen the first film right before it. So that was really cool. And then I walked out just absolutely floored with it and wanted to go again over the weekend and saw it a second time after I drugged my wife to go see it over the weekend. But right out the gate, just absolutely love this film. I honestly like it more than the first film. I'm gone on record and said it, especially after seeing it the second time. I'm like, yep. I was. Some people I know have battled that thought. Is it better than the first? I don't know. Back and forth. I think it was easy for me to come to that conclusion just because, like I said, I did see the two movies back to back, so I was able to come out and be like, dude, that second movie's got a ton more going for it. The first movie's so small and kind of really just a couple different set pieces, whereas the second one has got a lot going on, and I loved how much bigger and more amped up it was in the introduction of Domino and Cable and all that kind of stuff. So I really, really do dig it better than the first one. I went with our friend Geeky Pat, my brother-in-law, and all three of us said we liked it better than the first film coming out the gate. So before we jump into it, I'm going to throw it back over to you, Peeps. Right coming out of the movie and really kind of soaking it in, where do you stand as far as, do you still like the first one better, or do you like this one better?
So right out the bat, I kind of had a feeling that I'm kind of the reverse as you is like I was feeling the first one better or more, and I couldn't really like put my finger on it, but like we went with Friggins, and he made a pretty good point. And I think with a lot of comedies, I think a pretty big struggle is hey, let's repeat some jokes from the first one, but obviously change it up a bit so it's still funny to everybody who loved it, because as we know, the baby hand, I mean, I don't know how long we were talking about that shit, but we loved that whole freaking bit. So let's just turn it up a notch, and I don't know, baby legs, and it just, as funny as it was, I don't know, I just think like that scene and some other scenes kind of went on a little bit too long. And I watched the first one today, and there was a whole bunch of shit in there that I forgot about. And I don't know, I just kind of felt like the heart in the first, there's just more heart in the first one. I don't know. I know that's probably not true, but I don't know. I'm liking the first Deadpool more, but
Okay.
it's not by a whole lot, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. And even by me saying that I like the second one more, I agree. It's not by a lot. I mean, I love the first movie. That's not to knock the first film in any way. I just feel
Right.
like I got more enjoyment and more kind of bang for my buck, I feel, out of the second movie. So, um, real quick, basically, the overall arc of this film is we start off with Deadpool kind of trotting all over the world, and he's just, he's still X gonna give it to you all over the place, and he ends up coming back to town, and this last guy he's going after kind of gets away from him. He locks himself in a panic room, and Wade can't get to him, so he ends up leaving, and he goes home because it's his anniversary, right? And he sees lovely Vanessa, and they're talking. They decide to have a kid, and it's happy good times, right? Until the guy that got locked in the panic room came back with his thugs and shot up their apartment. And the last guy comes in with the gun, goes to shoot it. Wade throws the what was it? The bagel slicer. um, or the cream cheese spreader at him, and actually hits the gun and makes the gun kind of turn its angle a bit, and the bullet, of course, ends up hitting Vanessa, and she ends up dying right in the beginning of the film. So I was like, oh shit, like they did that. And so Wade's pissed. He goes after the guy, picks him up, hugs him, and then turns his back to get hit by the car, and it's kind of crazy there. Oh, and then of course, it actually before that, let's rewind a little bit. It starts with him basically blowing himself up and saying, fuck Wolverine, because, hey, Wolverine's going to go and kill himself in his movie, then now he's got to up the stakes, and he's going to kill himself in this movie, too, just to get back at Wolverine, which I got to say, I want the little music thing that he had with Logan being stabbed through the chest from Logan. That little music thing was fucking so awesome. Yeah. Yes, he just cranked up, and then you push on the stick that's going through his chest to activate it, which was so awesome. I was like, where can I get this? Someone's gonna make it. It's gonna be great,
dude. I know.
It's gonna be so great. So he loses Vanessa, and he does end up blowing himself up. And then Colossus comes and gets him, puts him back together. Once again, we go back on you need to be X-Men, and tries to get him to join the X-Men. He's a trainee, which everybody loves to point out, which I thought was fantastic as well, too. X-Men trainee. We get some cool stuff at the mansion, a nice little X-Men cameo, which I thought was fantastic. And basically, there's this kid, Fire Fist, who is at the Essex Home for Children. They love playing around with this Essex name because, we all know that leads to Mr. Sinister, but it's like, I feel like every movie in the past 5 years has had the Essex name attached to it, and we never get to Sinister. So I'm just like, what are they waiting for at this point? But, this kid Fire Fist escapes. He's pissed and he's blowing everybody up with his Fire Fist. And Wade finds out he's being hurt, maybe
abused,
molested, abused. Because he's a mutant. And Wade ends up, of course, taking it into his own hands, and he shoots one of the guys that works there. And Wade ends up getting arrested along with the kid. They put these little shock collars on them that disable their mutant powers, and they get sent to the icebox. That's where we get Cable coming back. Cable's going after the kid. You see that in the trailer. He wants to kill the kid, of course, because in the future, the kid grows up, he's evil, and he kills Cable's family. Therefore, Wade decides that he wants to, avenge this kid, and he wants to be his friend, and he wants to make things right. If he could save the kid, then he's never going to turn evil, and he'll have a chance to save it. He kind of looks at it as a way because Vanessa wants to, she wanted to have a child. They were going to start a family. He's kind of thinking like, I got to go through this kid to kind of make it happen. There's a lot of little side moments where Wade tries to go see Vanessa like in this heavenly kind of area, but he can't get to her because of course there's a bigger message to be found. And, so they build the X-Force, and you see them from the trailer. He recruits Bedlam and Shatterstar and Zeitgeist. And,
Peter.
Peter, yes, yeah. And that's where Domino comes into play. They're trying to rescue the kid. We find out Juggernaut is in the movie, which was a nice surprise. Even though I was pissed he didn't say, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch! But,
I know.
I really, really wanted it, but I guess, maybe because they ruined that next 3 that they felt they couldn't do it again. But, because it would have been perfect in a Deadpool movie for him to do that.
I know, yeah.
But we get Juggernaut.
Or at least Wade saying it. Like, aren't you supposed to say you're the Juggernaut, bitch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly, right? But yes, we get Juggernaut, which is awesome. I assumed from the minute that we saw the real big cell in the icebox that was going to be Juggernaut.
Yeah, me too.
And so basically, of course, the whole big story is save the kid. It was like kind of like Heroes, right? Save the cheerleader, save the world kind of thing. It was like save the kid, and Cable's family never dies, and everything's gonna be all hunky dory. And that's the mission that they go on to try to save. And Dopinder wants to become an assassin at this point, and he wants to bathe in the blood of his enemies. And but Wade won't let him, which I thought was such a classic scene when they tell Peter that he's in, and he's like, motherfucker, like when he hears it, he gets so pissed.
Dude, it's so good.
But so they end up saving the kid. They do change the future. Wade ends up actually dying, and then Cable uses his last piece of juice to go back in time and actually save Wade so he doesn't die, and we could have further adventures.
What did he say? That's awkwardly convenient amount of space
Yes.
jumps that he had,
Yeah, because he's
or
like,
for plot
I only
convenience
got
or
one.
something like that.
Yeah, I only got one to get here and one to get home. And he's like, maybe was that when he said that was lazy writing? I think that's when he said that was lazy.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
That's just lazy writing. But no, but it works, right? So,
yeah.
so basically, that's your general story of the movie. Now, getting into the things we like, I mean, I would have to go through the whole movie to be honest.
Yeah,
To,
you should just
you
go
know,
through the movie again.
So here's the things I like. So it starts off at the beginning with him blowing himself up, but I like that they kind of redid the same kind of opening credits. Again, like they did a very James Bond in this one, which I thought were great opening credits. But I like that they did the, starring, did you really just kill her?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and directed by the guy that killed John Wick's dog.
yeah.
Things like that. Like I love like the way that they did that, just like in the first movie. It was such a classic opening to the film, and then doing it to the Celine Dion song was just so fantastic. I think such smart marketing between Ryan Reynolds to go and get Celine Dion to do the Deadpool 2 theme song.
Right.
An excellent opening. Um,
And to go a little bit further with the music, I know I'm skipping ahead, but when you see Juggernaut and he's kind of like running through the mansion, there's that I don't know that what is it called, like the classical choir type of music, like holy shit balls or whatever.
mm-hmm.
Dude,
Yes.
I fucking love that. Like I don't know, I was jamming to that shit today. I love that little Juggernaut theme
Yes,
that they got.
the Juggernaut theme is fantastic. I know people that said they sat through the credits again just to listen to the song, because you can hear it fully throughout the credits. If you sit through the credits of the movie, they play the full theme song along with the X-Force remix of that Deadpool song from the first movie, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, I love the holy shit balls, holy shit balls.
Dude, it's so good.
Actually, my new episode of Am I on the Air is called Holy Shit Balls. So that is
Nice.
the name of the
There you
new
go.
episode that is up. So, so it definitely made an impact. But yeah, so I mean, so opening credits are great. Just I think the best scene in the whole movie, and one of the best scenes I'll probably see for many years to come, is the whole X-Force play out. I mean,
my
from
gosh.
from them interviewing the team and actually looking at real headshots of these actors, and then, like, cause that like, with Peter, he's like, "Am I getting catfished?" Like, and it's true because that was that dude's real true headshot. So that I love that they went through all that. The whole Vanisher thing cracked me the fuck up. That they're like, "Next up, the Vanisher," and they're like, "Oh yeah, you look great," and then they're like, "Is he even here?
Is he
Hello."
here? You're on. You're
And
right.
then I forgot about it, and then when they're on the helicopter and the backpack's floating on the helicopter, I'm like,
Dude.
oh my god, dude! They went back to the Vanisher thing. It
There
was so
actually
good.
is a fucking Vanisher. It was so good.
Yeah, it was so good, dude. And just the whole speech, and he's yelling at Peter, and then he's like, "I'm only doing that to impress everybody else." He's like,
Yeah.
I love you, Sugar Bear." And then I love the line too, because Domino says something to him, and then he's like, "No one asked you, Peter," and he's like, "I didn't even say anything," because it was actually Domino that was talking.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, oh, dude, that's so funny. Yeah, yeah. I forget. He says something, and then she talks back to him, and he's like, "No one asked you, Peter." And Peter's like, "What? I didn't even say anything."
So good. Like I knew something was going to happen. Yeah, they kept mentioning, the high winds and,
Yeah.
only an idiot would fly with these kind of high winds and all that. And I'm like, why do they keep mentioning that shit?
Right. You know what? It's funny because like going into the movie, I had said to people before too. I was like, I assume they're all gonna die in that scene or right after that scene. Because honestly, if you watch any of the trailers that came out for it, like you really only see all them together on the helicopter scene. And I'm like, and that's pretty early on in the film, if not right around the midway point. And I'm like, if there's more to this group, then why have we not seen any other footage of
Right.
these guys?
See, I was thinking like I was listening to a lot of non-spoiler shit before the movie was released, and a lot of people were saying like, oh, there's so much shit that's not even in the trailers that they put into the movie. So I was thinking that same thing, like, oh, I haven't really seen much of them, but I bet like the whole third act of the movie is going to be all X-Force or something. I don't know, but no.
No, I assumed it, and I also assumed it based on the characters they were using, because they went so D and F level like superheroes
Right.
that I was like, obviously this is not the team we're setting up for the real X-Force movie.
Uh-huh.
Like, so I was like, this is gonna be like the cool Deadpool joke of like, I put
Yeah.
this team together, they're real D level people, so when they all die, no one's gonna really give a shit, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, except for Fred. Fred said he really wanted to see a Shatterstar
Of
scene.
course
He
he did.
he didn't want him to be alive. He just wanted to see him get down for a bit. So.
Oh man, which I love. Once again, going back to the interview process, because they're like, "What's your power?" And he's like, "I'm good at pretty much everything." He's like, "Everything
Yeah.
I do is better than you," and
Yeah.
I love that Ryan Reynolds. He goes when he looked over at what's his face, and he's like, "I would like to go to a planet and just be a planet of morons and just be the smartest guy there." He's like, "I'll be their Superman," you know?
Right. Basically.
And I just he's like, I would like to be better than everybody at something,
Yeah.
you know, and then just so yeah, so they kept talking about the high winds, and he's like, dude, I'm special forces. You don't think we ever not jumped out of a helicopter with high winds? You know, he was like, suck it up, now let's go, right? And you get the awesome scene, the hangar opens up in the back, and the thunder, you know, like the AC/DC songs playing. They jump out, they form the X in the sky as they're going down. They fucking have the fucking just the parachute hanging there for Vanisher, fucking lined up. It's so perfect, dude.
Peter's face is just flat from the wind. And,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, yeah. Yeah, he's putting on his sunscreen and shit. He's like, melanoma is the biggest killer, you know?
Oh, my God.
And then, then they all pull their parachutes and go flying flying all crazy. And then Deadpool gets stuck on a sign. And then Bedlam's coming down, and he goes smack into a fucking bus. And he's out, and he's like, oh, shit, he's dead. And then Shatterstar goes into a helicopter and fucking gets torn to shreds.
Green shit all over the
And his
place.
fucking ponytail just going down the front of the helicopter. Zeitgeist goes into a fucking wood chipper. But then Peter,
Which was Thing, right? That was God, not Thing. It. What's his name?
he
Skarsgård.
was Pennywise, and then Peter lands, and he's cool, and then he goes to rescue Zeitgeist, and Zeitgeist, of course, his special power is acid fucking vomit, and he acid vomits on Peter and kills fucking Peter,
whole
and then
left
goes
side.
into the wood chipper all crazy. Oh my god, dude, I was like, holy shit. And then Vanisher hits the fucking telephone line, and it's fucking Brad Pitt. He fucking gets electrocuted. And, oh man, and then of course Domino just lands all cool because her superpower is luck, right? So she's all good to go, and he's like, she's like, how's the team doing? There is no team, they're all dead.
All dead.
He's like, oh wait, maybe Vanisher's alive, and then his body falls to the ground. Nope, he's dead too.
Nope. Yep. So good, dude. Yeah.
That scene had me fucking rolling. It was just so good the way it played out. I love just each character's fucking thing, and it's so funny. And I watched this interview with Terry Crews like 2 weeks ago where they were like, "Why did it take you so long to get into a superhero movie?" And he's like, I was just waiting for the right character and this and that. And I'm like, "You motherfucker, man!" I was like, "You teased the shit out of that. Like Bedlam's gonna be so cool, and then you didn't do shit." I create electrical powers to fuck with your head.
Yeah. And I was like, for anything, I was thinking at least, Terry Crews is going to do something cool. But no.
Nope.
No.
And there is a couple scenes in the trailers where it shows him like punching somebody in the street or something like that.
Yeah, and I swear you see like Shatterstar do like a thing.
Yeah, I heard somebody else say that. I don't remember ever seeing Shatterstar do anything, but I read an article that said basically they shot extra footage with all four of those guys just to put in the trailer to throw everybody off. So I thought that was pretty cool. So they all stayed around and shot a couple extra scenes just to put in for filler.
Yeah.
So that scene I just think is just classic. Just awesome stuff. I love the stuff at the mansion, and just him once again going back to the well with the, how the hell is it only the two of you in this place? And the whole X-Men is in the study, and like Beast shuts the door and he doesn't see. Like, I was like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Like, of everything in this movie, I want to see this movie again specifically for that scene, because I want to see who I don't remember who was all in there. I just remember seeing Beast and Quicksilver. I know there's other people, but yeah,
I know it happened so fast. Even when I saw it the second time, I was like, you're so locked into Beast when he's shutting the door that it takes your attention away. But
yeah.
James McAvoy's sitting there in the chair, and then Beast, Quicksilver, and I think Cyclops is there too.
Oh shit.
And one of the chicks too. I think maybe the chick who's Storm now. But yeah, so
Yeah.
they actually shot that scene while they were making the Dark Phoenix movie, because they were filming those two at the same time. So they actually shot that separate and then put the footage together so they could have that. So that because they was just because they happened to be filming at the same time. So
Are they still doing the Dark Phoenix movie? That's
they
still
are.
a thing, right?
It just got pushed to next year.
Got it.
Yeah, but that was great, and I really liked Colossus in this movie. I liked that what they gave him to do. It still drives me nuts that he's always in metal form, fucking 24/7. I'm like, come on, guys, I thought for sure they were gonna allow the dude that does his voice to be like just him, normal.
Yeah.
And they were just gonna show him like before he fucking chromes up, But no, once again, he's just sitting around chroming it up all the time.
Just all the time. Yeah, it's just whatever. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
If it was an X-Men movie, I would have been a little salty, but it's fine.
I know, but if they ever want to cross that shit over, and be like, all right, this is the Colossus we have now, I don't. It's gonna fucking make it hard for me.
Yeah.
God, man, I like I said, I loved Cable. I loved Domino. That whole rescue with the trucks when they were moving all
that was dope.
Just the whole thing there. The fight on the train. Cable fighting Domino.
Such a racist, that Cable.
Yeah, he is, man. Black Tom.
Black Tom.
Rest in peace, Black Tom. But yeah, just from Domino fighting Cable to Deadpool fighting Cable. I love that when Cable did that one jump to the back of the bus, and then Deadpool was like, my turn, and then he missed. He's like, oh fuck, I missed it.
Fucked it up. Yeah.
He fell and just went rolling down the street. But just that whole thing, and then obviously Juggernaut coming out, and then I loved just that fourth wall break again of him like geeking out over Juggernaut, like, oh my god, you're one of my favorite characters. He was like, X-Men 142, X-Men 143, X-Force 117. He just starts naming off all the damn comic books, and then Juggernaut's like, I'm gonna rip you in half, and he just literally ripped him in fucking half.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great.
I loved the way Juggernaut looked. Like, it's, I don't know, that I
cool.
thought it was really tight.
It was very tight. I mean, for being a big CGI guy, I mean, they nailed it with the helmet. I liked that they had the little nod too, when he's walking with the kid, and the kid's like, so why you wear the helmet? And he's like, just because your brother tries to read your mind. And he's like, yeah, but he's in a wheelchair now, so kind of even,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit,
Yeah. And also too, like, I kind of appreciated that it seemed like Juggernaut was still had his powers, since he's not technically a mutant. I think they kind of kept that shit in there, which, like, fucking thank you. Like, he's not a fucking mutant. Stop with this whole they're able to disable his mutant ability, because he's not. So I don't know. Thank you, Deadpool creators, for reading one or two comics.
Did you know, just a little mystery for you here, knowledge that Ryan Reynolds actually voiced Juggernaut too?
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
I did not.
Yeah, he did.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. It's funny because actually, if you watch the end of the film and they do the credits, it
As
says,
himself.
It says
Yeah.
Juggernaut's played by himself.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, it's actually Ryan Reynolds that did it. So that was cool. But yeah, that whole scene there. I did like Baby Legs thing. I agree with you. It might have gone on a bit too long. I did get a fucking crazy kick out of it, especially the basic instinct shit. You know, when he was sitting there and he's like, Cable just being like, I gotta deal with fucking the fact that I saw baby dick, you know, like, you know, just, you know, just having that vision. And I liked how everybody just kept showing up too, and he's like, what is this house listed on Tinder? Like, you know, he's like, where the hell's everybody coming from?
Right.
No,
No, it was really funny. I don't know, when he just started walking on it like that was like
Yeah.
a big achievement. Like, just,
I know, he's like, look at him go, look at the little guy, look at the little fella.
yeah, look at it go. I don't know.
And
I mean, kind of sucks with T.J. Miller. I mean, you know, you're not going to see him again.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
womp womp.
I like Domino's reaction, and he thought it was because of his legs, and she's like, no, I just never saw you without your mask before. You're fucked up.
Oh yeah.
You know, so yeah, so I mean, so that shit was cool, and then obviously the whole end fight was cool with them going after. I love the slow motion run again, and then when it panned over and Dopinder's running with them, all pissed off, and he's like spitting and shit, like looking all angry.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm
gonna
gonna
go back in the
wait in the
car.
car. Yeah. But that was all cool, man. You know, I thought, you know, so I mean, it's so hard to really be like, you know, here's all the things I liked about it, because a lot of this movie, it's really going to come down to the jokes. You know,
Yeah.
like what jokes hit, which I think most of them hit for me, man. I laughed my ass off at that thing. I mean, even like, you know, like I love that he called him dubstep, and like then just played the Skrillex while they fought. Like I thought that shit was so fucking cool.
Yeah. And then what did he say? He said, fuck dubstep or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, so dark. It's
Yeah.
like a DC universe. I loved how many Marvel fucking puns they got to throw in. I mean, he called him Thanos at one point.
Yeah.
You had
Cool it down, man.
Black Widow. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
When he was in the jail and he didn't have his powers, he was like, I'm basically like Hawkeye. Hand me a bow and arrow.
Yeah. He even had some DC jokes in there too, which was good.
Yeah, when Cable said, "Who are you?" and he goes, "I'm Batman," which was funny.
He said something about Martha too, I think, in the beginning. I can't remember.
He did. That was when he goes back to his apartment on his anniversary, and Vanessa's waiting for him, and he was like, "I had to stop a fight," and then his mom ended up being Martha too, or whatever.
Oh.
And she's like, "No." And then I like that he said that Cable had a Winter Soldier arm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so there was just a lot of little nods like that. Brown Panther for Dopinder. So they were jabbing him in, man, pretty good.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, like when I try to look at like just the overall things that I liked, I mean, I had some things I was really looking forward to, and that was, you know, a lot of the characters that are going to be introducing, Cable, Domino, and it just the overall, what I was hoping that we're not going to have another Portal in the Sky, you know, world-ending movie, which, you know, didn't happen. So I don't know. I think with all those points, I was definitely satisfied with everything that had given me. I mean, Cable was fucking dope, and you know, they showed his that metal and shit, but you know, they didn't really get into it, and I don't know, but it was there. It's a thing, and people, like, I just love that they don't have to explain every fucking, why is his eye glowing? We don't really need to know right this second. It's just his eye fucking glows and he can see shit better than we can. Like, let's just go.
And he's 5'11", nothing like the comics.
Yeah.
I like that they made that mention.
Yeah, that was good too.
This guy Cable, yeah, he's 5'11", nothing like he's drawn in the comics.
Right.
But yeah, but no, I thought Josh Brolin was great as Cable. I mean, God,
Yeah,
what a
man.
year for this guy, coming off an amazing run as Thanos, and then getting to be Cable. And I mean, and he's still got Sicario 2 next month. You know, like, I mean, literally, this dude's got like every month on lockdown. 3 months in a row at the box office. Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely the summer of Brolin, for sure.
For sure.
I thought he was great. I give props, man, to Zazie Beetz as Domino. I mean, I went on record. I said, you know, like, I was not happy with her casting. It wasn't what I wanted out of a Domino, but after seeing the movie, I thought she was fantastic as Domino, and I wish I would have actually had more of her in the movie. You know, I can't wait to see her role expanded, you know, in an X-Force movie, and where she has more to do, because I thought everything they did with her was fantastic. I mean, literally from the minute you meet her, and her and Wade are going back and forth about, she's like, oh, luck is my, superpower, and he's like, luck's not a superpower, and she's like, yeah, it is, and he's like, no, it's not.
They're
Yeah, it
arguing the
is.
whole
No, it's
time.
not. I'm sorry, you go. Oh, no, you go first. Oh, I'm just saying, no, it's not. Oh, yes, it
Yeah.
is. They just did that whole thing, and and he's like, all right, you're in, and she's like, yay, lucky me.
Yeah.
You know?
And that scene too, where they were like arguing and Deadpool was talking shit over the intercom, and then he was like,
Yeah.
"So I'm in." He's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Like normally, they would like, you would just see Deadpool and then they would cut to her and she's like in and she's already there, but you got to see everything that she did to get in. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was
so
funny
good.
too because they made that comment about how, like, how do you even show luck as a superpower? He's like, that's not very cinematic. But then that whole scene was very cinematic of her, landing she lands right in the middle of the street from when she parachuted out of the helicopter, but then the car goes flying, hits the light pole comes down, hits the other car into the gas station, which blows it up, then
Yep.
the other car goes flipping over her head, and she just keeps on
Yep.
walking like
And
nothing
it
bothers her.
makes the side view mirror start spinning.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it blinded Cable, and then he fell, and then she just jumps over the bridge and just happens to land right in that one opening to fall into the driver's seat,
Yeah, and then she fell in that little black and white panda, and
Yeah. After the plane exploded, she landed into the panda and was just able to walk away. And then even all the way up to the Essex House fight at the
Oh,
end,
that was so good.
She's fighting those dudes, and they just start tripping on the toys and breaking their necks and like all this shit, And I'm like, dude, they fucking nailed the whole like luck thing with her, man. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure Fred still hates her hair, but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know about the hair.
He's got a thing with afros. I don't know.
but I did, like I said, man, like I actually on my non-spoiler review on Am I on the Air this week, I said like I think we all need to get to a point where we got to stop doubting these casting decisions sometimes,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
be like, you know what? There's a casting director who's paid to hire the best person for the job, and if they won the role, they obviously did something to deserve it. So
Yeah.
like we got to stop making all these rash like instant decisions on who's good or who's bad, because 9 times out of 10 I think we all come back and always go, you know what, they were actually pretty good. So we all do it all the damn time, but I think it's funny because in the end result, I think 9 times out of 10 we're always wrong. Off of our
Yeah, I
initial-
mean, I had no issues with this. I mean, because I had you and Fred, and I think even maybe Geeky Pat had all this like Domino expectations, and like I didn't fucking care. Just as long as it's a female, and even if Domino's a dude, I still wouldn't have even fucking cared. But like I thought it was cool, like a black chick with a white vitiligo
Right.
vitiligo
I
spot.
do
or
like that it
whatever.
was vitiligo. Yeah, I mean that was a cool way to kind of to make the mark on her face.
I don't know why she's normally bleach white with a black dot on her eye in the comics, but maybe there's like a tragic story with that one and paint. I don't know. I have no idea, but I thought this was fine. And I thought too, man, like this whole movie is just what I fucking want in an X-Men franchise film, like showing these people with X-Men powers just fighting together using their abilities in a non-grounded universe. I don't know. It was good. It was so fun.
No, I agree. I thought the kid did a pretty damn good job as Fire Fist.
Dude,
The
that
kid's
kid
funny
was
as fuck.
amazing.
I loved when he's like, "What's he got that I don't have? Don't you say legs? Don't you say,
Don't you say legs."
legs?" And then he did the little rope pull, and he's like, "What are you doing? There's no rope there. You can't do that." And he's
I forgot about that. That was good.
damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Right. Yeah.
That kid cracked me the fuck up, man. I was like, he's great. And I love that he kept pulling out that little shank out of his ass, like the whole movie. too.
Dude, like
that
the
was kinda
whole
awesome.
movie, and that it literally became like the thing that saved Deadpool.
Yeah. What did he call it? His fucking his he called it something like his prison box or something like that.
Oh yeah,
He's
I
like,
snuck
need to
it
go
into
get
the.
this out of my prison box.
Oh,
Yeah. So fucking good. So yeah, that kid was. I mean, everybody fucking killed it, man, in this movie. I mean,
seriously.
honestly, like if I migrate into negatives right now, I don't think I have any to be honest.
Oh wow.
Like I mean, I'll definitely let you roll, but like I'm sitting here trying to think, and I'm like, I, I just I walked out of this movie, especially on the first time, just with such a smile on my face, and I was just like, holy fuck, I just had like the greatest time at the movies. I was grinning ear to ear, like I hurt from laughing so much. I saw it with a great crowd too, like I mean, especially from that double feature night. I mean, everybody was super into it, and and hollering and clapping, and it was just such an energy crowd too, which I think really
Yeah.
amped it up too. Um, I mean, everything clicked for me. The action was fantastic. I love that. I mean, the director of this one was David Leitch, who did he did co-direct the first John Wick movie, and the guy just knows action. I mean, he did Atomic Blonde as well, and just I love what he did with the action. I love just the way it looked. I loved the music choices. I loved, the fourth wall breaks. I mean, just I honestly don't know. Like, I mean, the only line that kind of bugged me was at the end when Colossus goes to fight Juggernaut and he goes, "Big CGI fight coming up." Like, I didn't like pointing that out, like, because I think it kind of took away from what a cool fight it was and what it could have been by
Right.
drawing attention to the fact that these are two computer animated things that are about to go at it. So it's like, oh, big CGI fight coming up, and I
Right.
really thought it was kind of stupid and immature to be like, when they fucking shoved the thing up his ass and then he just electrocuted him that way. Like, I was just like, really? Like, that's the way we took out Juggernaut? Like, by sticking the fucking, power cable up his butt?
Yeah.
Like, so, but those are the only two things that kind of bugged me a little bit. But
Hmm.
overall, dude, like I said, man, I had such a fucking blast with this movie. It is a fun time at the theater. It was one of the rare times where I knew the movie was ending and I looked at my watch and I was just like, no, I don't want it to be over. I just wanted it to keep going. And unfortunately, the movie ended. It's not even over 2 hours long, which I think is good for just the kind of movie it is and the pace that it goes at, because it's always going. It never stops.
Hmm.
And I think if they tried to push it too much over 2 hours, it'd be rough. But I didn't want it to stop, man. I was craving more, and yeah, man, I don't really have anything else to nitpick on it. Like, what do you have in that area?
Oh, what are you trying to say? I'm good at nitpicking or
Well,
something?
I'm just saying, when I said I didn't have any, you were like, whoa, so I figured you had shit on you.
No, yeah, you're right. I do
I
actually,
see,
but
I knew it.
shut up. So all right, so just a few things, and again, very minor issues, I guess I kind of had with it, but um, I guess okay. So one of my biggest issues with Logan was super sad, pity me, Logan. Like I just didn't like that at all in the movie, and that's like the major theme of the movie, which is why I don't like Logan as much as most people. And I guess Deadpool kind of turned into that, and he just became I don't know, it just kind of seemed like too over the top. Pity me, I'm sad, I just want to die. And then he's like saying like, I just want to die, just let me die. And then he had the collar on and he just, so that's it, he has the collar on and he just wants to die slow. Like, no, put the collar on and fucking kill yourself. Like, you just tried killing yourself like a couple hours earlier. Just, if that's the case, you want to die, then I
No,
don't
but
know.
then we wouldn't have had that awesome dying moment where he's like, oh.
Oh
Wait,
yeah.
guys, wait, I got something else to say. Oh, I see the light now. There it is. Oh, no, that's the sun. Don't look at
Yep.
that. Like, that shit was great. It
It
reminded me
was.
of Kung Pao, man. With like just because I went, doesn't mean I was dead.
Oh god, yes it does. But like I will say too, like that kind of bothered me too. I mean, like that scene lasted so long, and then
It did.
when he actually died, I was still waiting. Like,
Yeah.
all right, here you go, any
Well,
second.
the problem with that scene that pissed me off the most, that I think, is like Colossus was ready to rip that fucking thing off of his neck,
Yeah,
and he was like, no, no, don't do it. But then Cable goes and wastes his last fucking time jump, to save him, and I'm
yeah,
like, you could have just saved him without the time jump if Colossus would have just pulled the fucking necklace off of him.
right,
So yeah, I thought that was kind of a waste. I mean, I
yeah,
liked it that Cable saved him and used the game token to take the bullet. You know, they did point out that was lead, and that was kind of cool. And I like the back and forth of, you did it for me, and he's like, no, I didn't. And he's like, you did it for me.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. You know, I did it. Yeah, you did. Let's just
Right.
agree and say, yeah, you did. So
Yeah.
that
was a very precise,
Yes, he knew exactly where the bullet was going.
Yeah, that's was fine. So yeah, whatever. I mean, the death scene and the Fire Fist, the little kid. Again, as much as I absolutely loved that kid, I mean, he was like a awesome villain, and like he was like a little funny sidekick too there for a moment. But I didn't like how he was so hot and cold. See what I did there? But he went from. Deadpool was a dick to him the whole time they're in prison. But the one time where the kid heard him say, like, I don't even like that kid, or whatever he said, then
he said, I don't care about that kid. He's not my friend.
Right. And he like literally was saying that like the whole time when they're in the prison, like, no, don't follow me. Like, no, get away from me. I don't want you anywhere near me. And the kid was like, all right, so I'm going to follow you. I'm going to be all, near you all the time. And, okay, so you didn't care then, but now, I don't know. It just seemed just kind of like, I don't know. And then now he's just the most evil douche in the world again. I don't know. Whatever. So again, fine. A little nitpicky. And then I guess Colossus, how, I don't know. I like when, I guess, characters like Colossus just kind of stay who they are. So I would have liked for him just to be like, uninfluenceable by Deadpool, because in the end he was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna go all out and stab Juggernaut in his eye, and and I'm gonna be a dick.
He called him fucker not.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But I do like that when he was dying, he was like, please just say
that
fuck.
Was
just
great. Yes.
One time, please just say fuck. Come on, we'll do it together. 1, 2, 3, fuck.
Yeah. That
was great.
I would say.
Because he was such a Boy Scout, and he was just like, please just say fuck.
And I don't know, for them to even pull Deadpool onto a mission, like that wouldn't make any kind of sense. Like you see that he's mentally unstable. He showed you in the first movie how he just shot the guy in the face. You know what I mean? When 2 or 3 moments, Wade. Yeah, I know. But I don't know. Like it just bad decisions, I guess. I don't know.
I thought for sure they were gonna do that same shoot in the face during a big like discussion in this movie. They were gonna repeat that, but it was gonna be when he was trying to talk the kid down, and I thought Cable was just gonna shoot the kid in the head.
Oh yeah.
Like I thought they were gonna play that exact scene back out that same way, where Deadpool's like, "Give me," he's like, "You got 30 seconds, right?" Remember, you only gave him 30 seconds, so he's like, "Come on, man, please. I know you're better than this." Blah 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 blah, and then Cable's just boom right in his fucking head.
Right.
And he's like, "What did you do?" And it's like, I gave you 30 seconds. This shit's up, man. So I thought I really felt that was coming on, and I was really shocked that they didn't go that way, because there was a lot of, like you said, the little things that they did in the first movie that they kind of played off in the second one, and I thought they were going to do a little role reversal there with Cable.
That would have been good. Yeah,
see, but
and then I guess the last thing is when he was playing with the time machine thing, I think it would have been, maybe we'll see it in this director's cut that we got coming up, but I don't know, just like a couple more just really fun, stupid, moments where he actually changed something in the past, or changed like maybe some of their movies or something like that, other Fox films, which obviously licenses and shit, they probably couldn't do a lot, but I don't know, I just thought it would have kind of been fun to see a little bit more him going to the Aliens movie or something like that, and I don't know.
I think we are going to get more of that in that cut that comes out. I know that they and for those of you that don't know, I did post some news yesterday. They announced that there is going to be either a director's cut, or what they call an extended cut, or even like an alternate cut when it hits digital and Blu-ray. It sounds like it's going to be more of an alternate cut, because it said that they have so many alternate jokes and different takes in the movie that they were going to try to insert those in, and then like, because they did that like with Anchorman.
Anchorman 2, yeah.
Anchorman 2 has another complete version of the movie, but every single joke is different, and it's like something along those lines, because they change jokes so often. You know, being the fact that Deadpool wears a mask, he does a lot of that voice work like after the fact, you know, and so it says like literally like up to like a couple weeks before the movie comes out, he's in the studio like just doing new jokes and shit. Like I bet that whole like when we called him Thanos, that was probably like way like late in the game, you know. Like so, you know, I think that they tried to be relevant and things like that. Like he just, you know, he could just post in, you know, new jokes and different kind of like takes and stuff. So they do have this extended cut that'll have some deleted scenes put back in, different things like that. But yeah, one of the shot endings that he did with the time machine was he goes back and kills baby Hitler. And
What?
and they did film it, but they decided to take it out at the last second. But they said that will be in that extended cut. So I can't wait to see that shit.
Dude. Holy crap!
Didn't he? I think he said that to Cable in the movie. Like, if you go
I
back
think
in time,
he did.
why don't
Yeah.
you just go back and kill Hitler then, you know, or whatever. Like, so yeah, he goes back and supposedly kills baby Hitler. So that's hilarious. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. If it, you know, I don't know if they'll put it out like right at the same time the movie comes out digitally, or if they're gonna try to double dip and release it, you know, a couple months after. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that director's cut, man. It's gonna be fucking fantastic.
I would have liked to see more Negasonic and her girlfriend too. I mean,
what was it, Yokio?
Hey Yoko.
Hey Yoko. Yeah, I like he did a little hand, Yoko.
Yeah, every time.
Dude, and that cracked me up too when he stuffed the whole fucking bag of cocaine up under his mask and then just smacked it into his face, and you just see the white cloud of powder.
He like made like the LeBron James joke.
That shit was so funny, dude. And I love to see when he went in the floorboards, it was the cocaine and it was the cure to blindness, and which is what he says in the first movie. Like, if you ever find my stash of cocaine and the cure to blindness, and they actually went back and showed that it wasn't the house the whole time.
Al, no, it's a funny character too.
Blind Al.
And I like that everybody returned too. I mean, you know, that was good.
Yes.
No, there's lots of good things, and I think Don, you even mentioned that, you know, like his little time skip to save Vanessa is actually canon, right?
Yes, that's what they said. Yeah, they realized right after they killed her off that, like, oh, we probably shouldn't have done that. I mean, honestly, people love Vanessa. I love Vanessa, and you know, and that's what really made the first movie work so well, was the relationship between those two. And you know, you can't really just go and kill her off. So
yeah,
they did. Yeah. So I know there was some confusion on that because he goes so off the rails with the time jump shit after that it's like, is that all canon? But yeah, the writer said that saving Vanessa is canon. So, you know, we didn't really talk into, you know, we've talked about the film. I tried to save the after credit stuff, and then we kind of touched base on it. But yes, there is no final end credit scene. So if you're going to see it and you're listening to this interview for whatever reason beforehand, you don't have to sit all the way to the end, because I did that on the first try, and the whole theater was like boo at the end when nothing came up. But there's a mid-credit scene, and basically it cuts to the X-Mansion, and Deadpool is having Negasonic and Yokio fix Cable's little time bubble, and so they fix it, and they're like, and I love that he called her 11 in that scene too, which was great.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
With the
That's
Stranger
funny.
Things connection, because of her hair and everything. He's like, come on, 11. So that was awesome. And so then she's like, oh my god, what did I just do? And he goes back in time, and of course the first thing he does is he saves Vanessa. He goes back to that exact moment, and this time he throws the thing properly, hits the guy in the head the right way. They never knocks the gun, and she's alive, and everything's all well and good. Which, when he saved her, man, that first night I saw the movie, the theater went fucking ballistics. They were just so happy that he did that. And then I think it goes back to credits for a second, and then when it comes back again, we see the pan up, and it's the Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine, and where with his mouth sewn shut and everything, and then you see Wolverine standing there, and the claws come out, and then boom, and the Deadpool falls, and it's he's standing over the other Deadpool, the fake ass Deadpool that nobody liked from Wolverine, and he's just shooting him like a shit ton of times. Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, don't scratch me," to Wolverine, and he's like, "I'm just cleaning up the timeline."
Yep.
Which
shoots him like a couple more
times, and then he just walks off. And it was like, "Oh my god, that's great, man! That was such a fantastic moment." And then we cut to Ryan Reynolds sitting in like an office, and he's like, "Welcome to the big time, boy." and you see he's looking at his Green Lantern script, and then boom,
you just see
blood
splat
all over the fucking script, and his body falls, and he's like, "Not gonna make that mistake," you know. Yep. And I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" Which I want to shout out Warner Brothers real quick, because they tweeted Ryan Reynolds over the weekend and said they wanted their Green Lantern ring back, which I thought was so cool. I mean, I think it's just all fun and games, but I love that they like josted back at him because of him doing that in the movie. They were like, "Okay, man, like we want our Green Lantern ring back." You're no longer allowed, you know, because I know he did take home a ring after he made that movie.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool on Warner Brothers' part to do that. But yeah, man, awesome.
What about the Peter? You don't skip that one?
Oh shit, Peter! Oh, how come my poor Peter, Sugar Bear? So yeah, so that was the other thing. He actually, before the X-Men Origins Wolverine part, yeah, he goes back to that time where he's on the billboard and Peter lands and he's like, X-Force, and he's like, "No, Peter, go home." And he's like, "But I'm X-Force, man, I'm X-Force." And he's like, "No, just go home. There's no more X-Force. X-Force is over. Go home." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, you're right. This is all pretty scary." and he leaves. So it's funny because yeah, he just saves Peter. Everybody else still fucking dies. So I'm glad Peter's alive in the timeline now too, man. We get a Peter pop up in the next one.
Peter returns. Yeah.
So yeah, so awesome after credit scenes. I know a lot of people are saying they feel it's probably some of the best after credits they've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just a fun time, man. So yeah, fantastic stuff. So before we get out of here, like I said, where do we go from here? Now, the idea in a perfect world is that X-Force is next. They do want to make an X-Force movie. Drew Goddard is set to direct it. I think he's writing the script as well. He's supposed to start filming it as soon as he gets done with the movie he's making right now. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds, Domino, Cable, like they're all going to be a part of it. We don't know anybody else that'll be a part of it. But like I said, we got this little pending Disney buyout coming down the pipeline, and we don't know what the hell's going to really happen with any of these franchises. The Bob Iger, who runs Disney, they've asked him before, like, what about things like Deadpool and stuff like that? And he said, you know, we're not opposed, you know, against it. Like, he's like, you know, we typically don't make rated R movies, but if there's a way that we can make sure our audience understands what they're going to watch and that they understand clearly it is a rated R thing, you know, we'll figure out a way to make it work. And I really truly feel they will make it work. Will it be connected to the MCU? I think that's the bigger thing, is like, you know, if we introduce X-Men to this, you know, Marvel Cinematic Universe we've had for 10 years, where does Deadpool fit in? Does he fit in at all? Or do they just keep him completely separate with X-Force and have that be its own kind of thing where they can do it under some kind of, you know, let's just say Marvel Knights, you know, tagline or something like that, to where they'd say, hey, movies under this line are rated R and they're kind of different, you know, than the MCU. Kind of thing. Ryan Reynolds has gone on record saying, like, he says, I don't even know if there'll be a Deadpool 3 because he doesn't know where the hell anything stands, you know, going forward into a couple years. I mean, literally by next summer, this could all be a done deal. And so, you know, I hope we get the X-Force movie, at least, because I would like that to all move forward without involvement from another studio. Forcing them to make any kind of change, because I want to see more of Deadpool with Domino and Cable and a team and kind of pulling off missions together. I think that'd be really, really cool. So I'm curious, man. I think, you know, these movies make a lot of money, so I think that they're going to make something work. I think Ryan Reynolds might be the only guy to survive the buyout, because I honestly think they're completely, obviously, washing X-Men, and they're going to start their own MCU X-Men fresh.
I agree.
You know, I think they're going to obviously start a whole new Fantastic Four. Everything's going to be fresh, but I think Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool will be the only thing that'll kind of stay intact from one to the other. But yeah, I mean, do you have any thoughts about where we go from here?
Man, I kind of mirror everything you said. I mean, yeah, we got a lot of hopes and wishes, like what if Deadpool actually started us with the Marvel Knights that we've been talking about for however many years, where, there's this side of Marvel that's just so much fucking darker than everything else. We'll get our rated R Blade and Ghost Rider and just any other kind of, shit that's out there that I don't know that would eat X-Force and stuff like that. So will it happen? I honestly feel like if they kind of maybe distance themselves, like it's not really Disney, you know what I mean, but at the same time, like it they're still getting the money at the end of the day. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking it could happen. And I'm, especially with seeing the numbers that Deadpool pulls in. I mean, seriously, like, they like money. And why would they not continue that especially with the brilliant writers that they have over there in the MCU universe, tying it into the Marvel Cinematic. I don't know, man. Like I would, as much as you and I would love to see that, love to see Deadpool, shooting the shit with Peter Parker or something like that, I don't know if they would do that, but just something I would like to see. And yes, I 100%, I said this on our last podcast with Infinity War, I want some fucking mutants in the MCU. And when they change everything back, and mess with the reality stone, we're going to see some mutants popping up, and I don't know, man. I would love to see some mutants in the MCU. So yeah, and they just erase everything that happened with the Inhumans on the moon too. So that never happened. So
yeah. No, I mean, it's going to be great. I mean, it's a perfect time for them to start fresh again. That's when they can easily recast for a new Wolverine and all that kind of stuff. So, and they can kind of do their own thing, and we know that Marvel will do it right and do it well. So, looking forward to that.
I mean, would you like to see Logan, or not Logan, but fucking Hugh Jackman come back?
I would like to see Hugh Jackman come back, but you know what? Like, it'd be hard because I know he doesn't want to come back any kind of long term, and as much as I would love to see him pop up in, like, Avengers 4 and then fight alongside Iron Man and Captain America and all them, it just, then what do they do after that movie? It's like they're going to have to recast at that point. And
we've got our old man Logan now, so like he's turning into an old man. So I don't know. We get an X-23.
I don't think he's not gonna want to stick around, man. Like he probably would be so willing to do it as a one and done, But it's not. We know how Marvel works. They want to sign everybody to these 6, 7, 8, 9 contract films. Right. They're not going to just be like, "Hey, Hugh Jackman, let's use you for one film and then we'll go recast." Like, there's no point. Like, I think having X-Men just kind of start over from scratch in the MCU is a perfect opportunity to introduce our new, just our new everybody, our new Patrick Stewart, our new, just the whole team, Magneto and Wolverine and Storm and Cyclops and just,
Cyclops done right. Yes, exactly.
it gives them all that opportunity to really do everything the right way. Then we could have the opportunity to have Storm with Black Panther, different things like that. I mean,
no, see, let me just jump in real quick. We haven't done a Black Panther yet, but I am going to put a stop to that. Like, none of this, no more Storm and Black Panther hooking up.
Storm and Black Panther.
Nope. Black Panther has a woman. He's not going to see a chick shooting lightning bolts and be like, you know what? Fuck you. I want that bitch flying in the air. No, that's not going to happen.
She's way hotter.
We're just going to put him into the, stereotypical black dude just leaving his woman for the next best thing. No, we're not doing that. No.
Yeah.
And that happened for like 5 minutes in the comics, and they were married, and then they quickly got divorced like a year later.
They were married. That's how serious it got.
Oh my gosh! All right,
Can't
well,
ignore it. Can't ignore
it. It happened.
It's
gotta happen.
It's what the fans want.
Dude, I'm so sick of hearing people say that. I go off on people on Facebook. Like, enough with this. Stop.
Love it. But no, I mean, there are a lot of great opportunities. As much as I would love to see Hugh Jackman come back, I think, you know, it doesn't make a business sense in the long term. But what I would love is, I know Ryan Reynolds wants to do a Wolverine Deadpool movie, like with Hugh Jackman. I think that would be fantastic. You know, I keep wanting Hugh Jackman to pop up and do a cameo kind of thing in it. They did have to get his permission to use the X-Men Origins footage, and he was cool about it. He was like, yeah, no problem, you know, kind of thing. And I know him and Ryan Reynolds are friends, and Ryan Reynolds is always pushing him to be like, dude, we got to do this movie together.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he comes out of retirement for anything, it should be a movie he could just have fun with. Because in a Deadpool movie, we could get Hugh Jackman in that yellow fucking spandex outfit.
Yes.
You know, we could get him in the traditional mask and everything, and we could. It doesn't have to fucking affect everything else that we've seen in the X-Men universe.
No, and I want it to be titled Wolverine v Deadpool.
Yeah, dude, Dawn of Justice.
Yes, Dawn of Martha or something.
You know, it would be so cool, and I my fingers are crossed that if they could make that work, and especially hurry it the fuck up before Disney buys it, you know, that would be fantastic. So
I got a question for you though. A moment that I legitimately loved in Deadpool 2 was the interaction between him and Vanessa in that other world.
Yeah.
Do you think that was actually happening, or do you think that was just a part of Deadpool's, like, you know, his subconscious, something that he's creating when he blacks out and almost, you know, dies?
I think it was really happening. I mean, just the fact that, you know, when he did fully die and he went back, he was able to go through the barrier, and I like that his image changed. You know, like he went back to his original look, and, you know, and then her being like, it's not your time yet. You know, you have to go back. You got to go back for them, and, you know, and sending him back basically. You know, what do you say? Don't go fucking Elvis, and she's like, don't go fucking Colossus. You know, like, you know, yeah. It was a cool moment though, man. And, you know, and it's playing the "Take on Me" from the first movie again, but in a very slow ballady version. You know, which I really I love the musical choices in it, and yeah, I thought that was a really cool scene. I thought it was a pretty powerful scene, man. Like just him walking through the bubble, and then all of a sudden he looked normal again, and that was really, really cool. I dug that, and I liked it. You know, it only happened a couple times throughout the movie, but it was always when he pretty much was on that verge of death. So, you know, he probably did die, and then it was his body healing that took him out of it. You know,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, that pretty much takes us through it. I mean, overall, like I said, I absolutely loved it. I give it 5 stars. I mean, I saw it twice already, both times in IMAX. Wouldn't mind going to see it again. It just, I just such a good time. If you just want to have a great, fun time at the theater, man, see this fucking movie. It is a blast from start to finish. I can't wait to buy it. I can't wait to watch it over and over. Like, it is just fun. What would you wrap it up with?
Yeah, man. I mean, I mirror everything you said, dude. I had a blast watching it. I definitely plan on going to see it again. I've been telling my family members, hey, have you seen the shit? Go watch it. I haven't really seen the first one. We'll still go, and then just watch the first one as a prequel. I don't know. Just go see this shit. Because, I mean, kind of like you said, dude, like, a lot of people don't like movies and movie theaters, and my feet, it always hits my knee on the thing. Like, just stop. Like, you know, we're getting recliners now in most theaters. You know, just, it's a really good theatrical experience, especially that little opening James Bond-esque. You know, it is, man. It's a blast. It is a really good time, and I mean, in terms of, you know, rating and whatnot, I mean, I'd give it a good 4.5. Yeah, I haven't really thought of it, but yeah, I'd say 4.5. You know, it's hella good time. Yeah, there's not much I can say about it. Not much else that you haven't already heard, y'all. Yeah. My 3rd favorite movie of the year so far. No, yes. 3rd. Haven't seen. Yeah, Infinity War, Black Panther, my man.
Oh, Black Panther. Okay.
Yeah.
See, it took me a second. Yeah, I would agree. I do, I've had people ask me and it's hard to compare to Infinity War because Infinity War is such an epic and it's just so much going on a whole different level. I mean,
Yeah, it's not fair.
I probably had more fun watching Deadpool 2, but you can't compare the two movies. I mean, yeah, so Infinity War is still number one for me. But yeah, Deadpool 2 I think comes in right behind it for me at number 2 for now. So yeah, definitely go out and check it out, guys. 5 stars for me, 4.5 from Peeps. And that'll do it for us here, man. Our spoiler review. Am I still on the air for Deadpool 2? Thanks to Peeps for coming on again and talking spoilers with me. Definitely follow him on Twitter at ForMyPeoples. And maybe one day we'll see that People's Forum come on back. We're still waiting from Deadpool 1 to Deadpool 2. We're still waiting.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's almost there.
There's the empty promise once again.
It's just a lot. It's a really big bun in the oven.
But yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Am I On The Air. You can follow me on Twitter at DXDonMega. Definitely check it out, amiontheair.com, and of course also reddragonsradio.com. And you can also find us all over the interwebs: Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, Google Play Music. We're all over the place. Check it all out. Subscribe, iTunes, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next spoiler review. I'm trying to think at this point. It might be Ant-Man, possibly Ant-Man and the Wasp. Might be the next one to take us there, but we'll always keep you posted as ever, and always tune in, check out our regular Am I On The Air to keep you up to date and everything going on in all entertainment news, movies, and TV. So check it out, amiontheair.com. So signing off here for Peeps, I'm DONMEGA, and until next time, y'all, peace!
Red Dragon!